Good morning, St. Francis, and good morning, people of God. It is Friday, the 22nd day of April, 2022. It is Easter Friday, Friday of the octave of Easter. It is the 6th day of Easter. Coming to you still again from my undisclosed location, returning to Raleigh today. But in today's also Earth Day, very appropriate because that Earth Day always falls within the Easter season. Again, that season in which creation is once again renewed, and our consciousness of the salvation of all creation, not just humanity, not just Catholic Christians, but all creation through the resurrection of Christ, is once again made known, and we are asked to reflect and ponder the various dimensions of what it means to have a creation reborn and renewed again and again and again unto the fulfillment of Christ's return at the end of time. In today's readings, we continue still the Acts of the Apostles, as we will do all throughout these 50 days of Easter. Another consequence of the healing of the man who was lame, who was paralyzed by the temple gate, and now the Jewish authorities have come to arrest Peter and John for having again caused a riot in some ways, or has caused some kind of consternation around the temple area. Again, the charges of arresting them are flimsy at best, and it is a difficult kind of situation for both Peter and John to kind of be facing, since they are asking for more proof or for more reason why it is that they have been arrested, and there isn't any, except to say, why was this man healed? And again, healed in the name of this individual condemned as a criminal who was crucified, who died, and who was buried, and who they are saying was raised, but they don't believe it. What does this all mean? And again, here is where Peter again begins another kind of narrative soliloquy now before Jewish authorities again, and that in first reasoning out the fact that you're not even recognizing the fact that someone who could not walk all of a sudden can walk, and the joy that should bring is being suppressed because again, this threat to your power, this threat to your understanding of yourselves and your understanding of God seems to be greater. Again, here comes in, though, the things that Peter says that again have been used throughout history in a variety of ways. Again, that there's only salvation under Christ. Again, this sense of outside of the church or the Christian community, there is no salvation. So for Jews and for Muslims, for any other religious traditions, no one can be saved. And again, what is salvation? It's never ever said specifically. Is it just being able to get into heaven, to get into a better place than this world in which we live now, where there's so much unhappiness and turmoil? No, that's not what salvation is. And again, through the wisdom of the Second Vatican Council, we realize that there exists within creation in this world many different ways to understand the power of God and to achieve meaning in our lives. And so, again, to be taken carefully when Peter uses that statement about there's no salvation except in Christ. That is true in all ways, but it also doesn't mean that Christ is manifested only in one particular way throughout within this world. In the Gospel, we have the third appearance of Jesus in John's Gospel to the apostles after the resurrection, and this is in many ways a very simple one. It is the fishermen, the apostles trying to fish, not catching anything again, and it's as if they have gone back to life as usual. They've gone back to life as normal. All these witnesses and all of these announcements of Jesus' resurrection doesn't seem to have clicked within them, and so they're just going back to life as it was, fishing lazily, catching nothing, and then someone appears on the shore who they immediately recognize is Jesus, who tells them that they should try to throw their nets over another side of the boat, and how simple as that is, and they catch thousands of fish. The other wonderful thing about this passage is that Jesus also eats with them. Again, what it means to be resurrected is not to be a ghost, is not to be some kind of phantasm, some kind of spirit, but it is humanity in a new, wonderful, and glorious way. And so the fish that they catch, Jesus makes a charcoal fire and allows them to, has them come and share some of that fish and that food with him. Again, what it says is, again, at the end of this gospel, nobody needs to know, nobody needs to ask, who are you? Nobody needs to wonder who this person is, because they know it is Christ. Again, one of the wonderful things that happens because of the resurrection is this greater knowledge of who and what Jesus is, and this greater knowledge, again, of who this person is to have back in their lives once again, who was never actually really lost, but now who they can rejoice over and rejoice in as as now the work of spreading the gospel begins in their lives. Again, there is no condemnation, there is no retribution, there is no scolding of the apostles and for their lack of faith and for running away and things like that, as Jesus needed them most. It is they who need Jesus. It is us who need Christ, and that is proven again and again in the resurrection appearances. And something that our faith will tell us again and again that we must be conscious of. Without recognizing that, then we turn Christ into something that we can manipulate and use to our own means. And resurrection demonstrates again and again that it is Christ who is in control, that Christ who is the victor, that Christ is the one who leads us to those promises that our hearts yearn for always. A blessed Easter, St. Francis and people of God. May the Lord continue to give you his peace.